All right, there we go. We're a little late, but there we go. We're starting here on this Monday night. I don't know what day of the week it is, and I had the weekend off. But Joe and Mike here with you on this Monday. Mike is all dressed up with no particular place to go.
Got that right.
But uh, but as that happened, Jacksonville just scored a touchdown, so it's 14-7 right now. Kansas City on top there. Got a lot to talk about here. We're going to talk a little bit about Mac Jones's Thursday morning, uh, Mark Sanchez and the goofy stuff that's happening there. Mike McDaniel. Apparently, the owner is very frustrated, and I and from what I was reading here, I think the owner Steve Ross is like Jerry Jones Jr.
Oh,
I'll tell you something about that as well. But
okay.
um, and anything else? I think that was everything. Oh well, I forgot the. Well, I can do it this way. Hold on, just so I can make a note of everything here. Um, and also, it is the start of hockey season tomorrow, which may be a good thing because the Phillies are one game away from being eliminated.
Yes, they are.
So, and I'm going to take a different spin on this because everybody's going to be saying, "Oh, fire topper, fire topper, fire topper," and I will give you a different view on that as well. But also, I'll give you a different view of this series because are they hitting? No. But I'll give you a different view of that too because because you got to look at the whole picture, not just one little thing.
Okay.
And that's why, like for example, on Saturday night when Matt Strom gave up that home run.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, Here, I'll show you. So this was game one on Saturday, and I'm not showing the video. I'm showing the screen capture that Savage Philly Sports Media had on Facebook.
Okay.
Um, and I think Crossing Broad had the video. But you see his arm out there?
Yeah.
Matt Strom was tipping his pitches, and he was letting Teoscar Hernandez know that a fastball was coming.
Wow.
Now, some baseball players will say, I don't want to know what's coming because, it'll mess up everything because, you a fastball is coming. Now, he did give him a high fastball that was in his heat zone. But if you throw one low,
Yep.
the fact that that it's a fastball, you know that what's coming. So,
Hmm.
but um, but the thing is, and I said this here, and um, yeah, I said it late Saturday night when I saw this. I said, can't wait to see or hear that the Dodgers were cheating. This is part of the game, and if you're tipping pitches, it's on the pitcher.
That's true.
Because you get to this time of the year, it doesn't matter which of the four sports, or we'll throw the Union in there too, because that was the only bright spot this weekend. Um, well, the bright spot was that Penn State lost. And Work didn't like when I said, "Oh, I'm happy Penn State lost," because they don't understand why
Right. Yeah.
they don't understand that
Yeah.
I'm exit only.
Yeah.
Jerry Sandusky thought it was enter only. He invented the tush push. But um, you look at everything and the team's not hitting. Okay. Well, let me just see one thing here. I'm going to look at the two box scores here. Um, Dodgers were 7 for 34 tonight. which equates to 205. Oops. They went 6 for 33 on Saturday, so they're not hitting either. They're just getting the big hits, and we're not.
Yep.
So, the thing is, Matt Strom, David Robertson, he was a gasoline can. It happens from time to time, but it just happened at the wrong time. And by the way, did you know that Shohei Ohtani might have set a record with 13 strikeouts on Saturday?
Really?
Yeah, he struck out 9 and he struck out 4 times.
That would be a record.
He almost had the platinum sombrero with 5 strikeouts.
Yep.
But this is exactly what we expected in terms of pitching for the most part. The bullpen for the Phillies did what we expected the Dodgers to do, and the Dodgers tried to give it away tonight.
Yeah, they did.
Even Small Dick Nick got a big base hit.
Yep.
And by the way, I have to find that video. I don't think I'll be able to find it that quickly, but Big Dick Nick has a wager with somebody on his podcast. I don't know if it's a co-host or somebody who's listening.
Okay.
Apparently, if the Eagles lose to the Giants, either of the 2 games in the next 3 weeks, he has to wear, I think, a Giants jersey or sweatshirt or something.
Oh, say it ain't so, Nick. Say it ain't so.
Oh, do they have something that big for down there? But yeah, I just think that we're only looking at one thing, down 0-2. Okay, yeah. Is it going to be hell to come back? Yeah. Could it happen? Possibly. I don't even know who's starting game 3. Well, Phillies is Ranger, I think. Oh, Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Yamamoto.
Nagasaki, Yokohama.
And
it could be Ranger.
I think it's going to be Ranger, but they said that Ranger would pitch in game 2 if he needed to.
Right.
But he didn't need to. But I think the only difference in this series, if we really think about it, is the fact that Dodgers got a little more hitting when it mattered and a little more pitching when it mattered. Other than that, and here's the thing. This is where I was going with what I was saying, that can't wait to see or hear that the Dodgers were cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get to this time of the year, you have everybody on that street here, Lansing Street here.
Mm-hmm.
You have everybody watching.
Right.
But I guarantee you that 60% of them don't know what a fucking baseball is. It's kind of like the Super Bowl. Oh, why are you watching? Oh, the commercials. Hopefully this year it's without Taylor Swift as well.
Yeah.
Even though she has a new album out.
Yeah.
So it was a very quiet day on Fridays because all those terrorists were too busy listening to her album. But I just think, and I joked around with Detroit even, because AJ Hinch is the manager.
Right.
I said I said something along the line of when they won or whatever. I might have said on Facebook, might have said on Twitch, might have said it somewhere else. I said that Seattle better check their trash cans. A.J. Hinch was manager with Houston when they won. And he got fired because of the change.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So now the rumor was that they wanted to bring him back, but I think Detroit is going to offer him a good contract.
They should.
But
well, here's the thing about the Phillies, though. You got 2 straight games where your pitchers did exactly what you want them to do. You can't ask for anything else. Pitchers pitch like they're supposed to. You want your hitters to come up clutch, and that's really the only difference between the 2 games. Dodgers came through, Phillies didn't.
And I could tell the tide was shifting a little bit for the Phillies in the 6th inning. And I don't know. I don't know if you were here yet or not. I checked ESPN. Luzardo was only at about no, you got here top of the 7th. That's right. I did a quick check. Luzardo was around 70, 75 pitches.
Yep.
Blake Snell was starting to snell.
Yeah, he was.
Because he was close to 100 pitches after 6 innings.
Right.
Because that's the thing with him. He will give you 6 innings, but it'll be 110 pitches usually.
Right.
So they're, but the only thing is now they will actually give you, I forgot I have to do something here. They are actually going to give you, the Dodgers are actually going to let him pitch a little bit, even though Dave Roberts is very big on analytics as well. I mean, he's pulled numerous pitchers during a no-hitter because they threw too many pitches. So, but the thing is, when you look at everything, you could see a similar situation in Game 3 and Game 4, if there is a Game 4. And maybe one break goes the Phillies' way, and Game 5 comes back here on Saturday.
Possible.
Or the Dodgers just do whatever and blow the Phillies out. But the one thing is, and I said this, and people have agreed with me when I said this from the very beginning. When the playoffs started, it was 11 teams that had a chance, and the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Exactly.
And the one thing I said a couple of weeks ago, and might have been to Mike Abadier, might have been somebody else, I said, I'm afraid the Dodgers are going to turn the switch on. And they flipped the switch this week. They flipped the switch with Cincinnati, and they haven't been able to turn. We haven't been able to turn the switch off.
Yeah.
But and everybody's going to say, "Oh, you got to fire Topper." Well, here's one thing I have to say, and you can chime in here, give me a hard time with this. I don't give a shit. All Topper is Charlie Manuel with a brain. Because my stance.
Yeah.
Charlie Manuel only won because of Jimmy Williams.
Because of Jimmy Williams, yeah. Yeah.
Because Pat Gillick was smart enough to know that Charlie Manuel is a fucking idiot. And he brought somebody in who'd say, hey, this is how you do the double switch. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And that's how we won in 2008. It wasn't Charlie Manuel all of a sudden getting brain cells. Because truthfully, Charlie Manuel has 2 brain cells and they're fighting for 3rd place. But, if Rob Thompson gets fired, he gets fired. no big deal. But those that are saying that he has to go, just remember we've let Charlie Manuel hang around 4 years too long.
Yes.
He should have
we
been
did.
fired in 2011
Yeah.
because now Brian Schnicker, with the former Braves manager,
Mhm.
he took a front office position or whatever he did. He should have been fired on the spot in April. I think it was April. A.J. Smith Schwarber. First of all, you got to pick a last name, buddy. Okay.
Right.
He left him out there when he tore his elbow for a couple more pitches.
Yep.
Spencer Strider's telling him he's hurt his elbow. Go get him.
Yep.
And Spencer Strider, he's just coming off of Tommy John surgery, so he knows what Tommy John is and what it looks like when somebody is that close or actually has torn his elbow.
Right.
What Charlie Manuel did in 2011, it was 2011, the last year that they were in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the downward spiral.
Because that was the
2008,
year. Well, you also had that perfect storm where you had like a couple of hurricanes coming through and all that stuff. So they had to play like 35 games in 30 days or some shit like that. They had a 3-game series with Washington. Now, they could have laid the Braves into the playoffs and beat the hell out of them in the first round.
Right.
Instead, they go for the franchise win record. They win all 3 games. The Braves get knocked out of the playoffs. They bring St. Louis to the ballpark, and we lose in 5.
Yep. Yep.
Now, granted, you're going to say, well, St. Louis has to do their part. Well, they were playing a Houston team back then that I think lost like 105, 110 games. So you had to do it yourself. You could have dogged it, but you were dogging the games between when you clinched the division because you were so far ahead in the National League.
Yeah.
Till the final 3 games. And you say, you know what? Let's win 3 games. We still can get this record. Oh, by the way, now you're playing the hot team in the playoffs. You know, you could have did what everybody did what Denver did to Cincinnati last year in the playoffs or in the AFC. Denver and Kansas City played the final game.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City could have said, you know what, we're going for 16-1, and we're going to knock Denver out of the playoffs because, you know, they'll have to play another game before they play us again. Well, we're not going to let them play. You know, we're not going to let our guys play. You know, we don't want to play Cincinnati. We want to play Denver eventually, or whoever ends up playing. Yeah, we'll let Carson Wentz quarterback. And Denver got into the playoffs.
Yes,
Phillies could have did the same thing
Yeah.
and let the Braves get in.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. And then on top of that, on Sunday, Carson Wentz gets a last-second touchdown. And guess who had Cleveland money line on Sunday morning?
No. Oh.
And of course, everybody's saying, well, your biggest mistake was playing Cleveland money line or betting Cleveland in general.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's Carson fucking Wentz at quarterback.
Right.
But I don't know. But the Phillies are down 2-0. And you can say what you want, you know, probably going to lose 3 straight. You know, it'd be interesting to see what they do in the first couple of innings, if they can actually get something going from the top of the lineup because, Trey Turner's doing nothing. Kyle Schwarber's doing nothing. You know, well, Shohei Ohtani hasn't done shit hitting either.
Nope.
It's the same part of the order that's doing the damage for both teams.
Yep.
It's just that Teoscar Hernandez is third. He did one thing because, oh, by the way, Matt Strom is tipping his pitches.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm surprised there aren't any ignorant hopping on the bandwagon Phillies fans that said, oh, that's cheating. Now, in Little League, they don't allow that anymore. If they see a runner tipping pitches to the batter,
Right.
they don't allow it. They warn, and then they say, all right, you're going.
Oh.
But the thing is, that's a part of the game. It isn't like it's, you know, what the Astros did with, you know, with a camera out in center field that they got a feed of, you know, even though it's just a regular TV feed,
Right.
and all of a sudden, or, you know, I mean, you're comparing apples and oranges, but the thing is, if you're smart enough to figure out that a pitcher is going to throw a fastball and you think it can help your player, go right ahead.
Yep.
It's when you get into these little things like, oh, by the way, you know, but then all of a sudden you get, well, then you get around. I think what they even think in Little League,
Mm-hmm.
I think what they're probably saying is, well, we don't want this to turn into little Johnny purposely hitting little Billy with a pitch, or Caleb hitting whatever the cool names are now.
Right.
But, you know, you don't want that to happen. But, you know, but you're looking at everything here. It's just the Phillies bullpen imploded first.
Yep.
Shohei Ohtani righted himself after he gave up 3 early runs.
Yep.
So, you know, there isn't much, in my opinion, separating these two teams when you look at the hitting just in general.
It's not.
It just seems like it's a huge chasm because it's 2-0.
Yep.
But I'm sick of talking about this.
Okay.
So hopefully nobody brings it up, but, you know, if they do, so be it, whatever. So now I wonder if the Phillies will be at Marina Del Rey, at a Marina Del Rey hotel, because maybe Mac Jones was seeing something.
Oh boy.
Because he saw dead people, a dead person.
Sixth sense issue. Yes.
Now, according to Diana Rossini, who's on The Athletic, and by the way, everybody in the Eagles world hates Diana Rossini because she was spreading all these rumors about the Eagles. Everybody, all the disarray in the locker room because they're not throwing the ball or anything like that. And now, you know, we'll get to that later with what the Eagles did yesterday. But Diana Rossini reported on The Athletic on Thursday that morning at the team hotel in Marina Del Rey, Mac Jones told teammates he was on a balcony when he looked out at the water and saw a floating dead body.
Ooh. Jeez.
Do you know what that person's last words were?
What was that? I should have known.
So someone did call the police. As the Niners loaded buses for the stadium, players watched investigators and even a coroner's van pull into the marina. On Friday afternoon, the LA County Sheriff's Department said the incident was still under investigation.
Okay.
So if there's any foul play, I don't think any of the players was involved.
No.
I doubt Mark Sanchez was involved.
Jury's still out.
Because he lives out there. You know,
Yeah.
So, but Mac Jones was able to put that situation behind him. He still managed to have a great game, throwing for 342 yards, 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the wins. He dealt with knee soreness, cramping, and his period. No, I mean, and even vomited during the game.
Oh wow! A Donovan McNabb guy thing. Okay.
But he had all kinds of issues. But I thought one play he blew out his knee. Here was just maybe cramp and maybe just the knee brace and whatever he was wearing. So, but you know, I mean, I don't know if he was foreshadowing the Phillies or. I wonder if the Phillies stay at that hotel. How funny would that be?
That would be hilarious.
But I do know from the last time out, last time the Phillies went to LA, they had all kinds of flight issues where they didn't get there until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow!
That was because they had a major issue with the plane.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
So I'm just wondering, is there, are they flying into something over there, or but maybe the best thing is that the Phillies get on the road here. But the only problem is you're down 2-0 and one game you're done.
Yeah.
But
I don't think the Dodgers going to win on Wednesday though. They won what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight. It's not time for them to take an L.
I can.
Oh no, 2. Wait a minute. The best out of 3, 2. They won 4 straight. It's time for an L.
Let me see something here. And by the way, it's 3-3 after one in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, okay.
Actually, the Dodgers have won 9 in a row.
Really?
They won their last 5 games, including 3 games in Seattle.
Okay.
Game where I don't think it mattered too much. I know it didn't matter much to the Dodgers, but I think they're just trying to lay the seeds down just in case, because in case they play Seattle in the World Series.
Right.
So, and there was a story I saw here, and I saw it on Instagram, and I'm looking to see, here it is. And this is from Dodger Matt and Babes of LA on Instagram. Now, I'm going to say this right now. If this is not true, don't come to me. Don't come to Mike. Don't go to the Bleacher Brothers. Go to Dodger Matt and Babes of LA. Because one pitcher on the Dodgers team, Justin Robleski, I think that's pronounced. He was reportedly left off the NLDS roster due to his ongoing personal issues, aka cheating allegations. He cheated with at least 8 women.
Dude.
He was exposed on TikTok and Pornhub and OnlyFans and Grindr. Wait, what?
What?
So obviously his mindset wasn't in the right place.
No.
Allegedly. Now, even notice here that this watermark here is Dodger Matt. So if this story is not true, do not come to me. Go to Dodger Matt, because I am citing his negligence.
It does say Dodger Matt, yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess he's trying to set a record for Tyreek Hill and Antonio Cromartie's record for the most baby mamas.
Yep. And we're off. Tyreek's in the
And there was a picture I saw last week. It was like 15 nurses Photoshop all broken. Look what Tyreek Hill did.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. So, but so I don't know if the Phillies are going to be at that hotel. Maybe they can throw David Robertson and Orion Kirkring in the pool or whatever. But and it was funny because they had just said, "Oh, Orion Kirkring's doing so much better." Yeah, thank you, Black Cat.
Yeah. I think about that. You're right about that. They're just like, yeah.
But we're going to take a stab at this story. Now, when I first saw this Saturday morning, I saw on the New York Post, former Jet quarterback Mark Sanchez stabbed. And then you see, well, he's in the hospital, but apparently he got into a fight with a Grubhub, Uber Eats, whatever driver. My disdain for those people. I can tell people about that when we get to that and get into the story here. But apparently, Mark Sanchez is now facing a felony battery charge for what authorities said Monday was a fight over a parking dispute, in addition to misdemeanor charges that the Fox Sports analyst was already facing from the weekend incident in Indianapolis. So they're just adding charges on top of charges on top of charges right now.
A parking dispute? Mark.
Now, there's video of this, so, I mean, it's not released to the public, but I'm sure when the time comes, we'll see what's going on.
TMZ will probably get it first.
So, the Marion County prosecutor, Ryan Mears, announced a new charge of battery involving serious bodily injury, which carries a potential sentence of 1 to 6 years in prison.
Jeez.
And that was during a news conference with Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Chief Chris Bailey. Mears said the investigation is ongoing, that additional charges are possible.
Not good for you, Mark. Not good.
And there's more stuff here why it is not good for him, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
So the prosecutors told reporters, we are literally talking about people fighting over a parking space and or a dispute about where people are parking, and it resulted in someone receiving just incredibly significant injuries. But this has been a weird story from the beginning, because it was like, first it was he's in an alley. Okay, well, why is he in the alley? Is he another guy, or maybe the wife? Because I was listening to him from a January podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his wife were in Hawaii because they were getting a last trip in before his twins were born.
Huh?
He did an interview on the Dan Patrick Show back in January.
Okay.
Him and his wife were in Hawaii getting one last vacation in before their twins were born.
Oh.
So the affidavit alleges that the 38-year-old Sanchez, smelling of alcohol, so maybe he just partied a little bit, but, I think, like, I'd like to know where was his hotel at, everything like that, because to me, neither side adds up. Whether you're on Sanchez's side or you're the truck driver.
It doesn't sound right. It doesn't.
So he accosted a 69-year-old truck driver who backed into a hotel's loading dock in downtown Indy, leading to a confrontation early Saturday outside the vehicle that prompted the driver to pull out a knife and defend himself. So the question is, was he, from what I'm gathering here, and I may be so far out beyond left field that I'm way off.
Okay.
I'm probably so far beyond left field, I'm in right field.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I can see it.
I just get the feeling because because like even when they said that he did a review on the driver, he gave him 3 stars and stuff like that. That's it's not mentioned in the story, but there was another story that mentioned that.
Right. What?
But then again, it may just be the driver doing that too. Who knows?
Possible.
I don't know, but there's so many pieces here to me that are just so weird.
It doesn't sound like anything adds up. Really doesn't.
Now, was he parking his car there because he's too much of a former athlete to park in a regular spot? Was he cheating on his wife with a woman or a man? Because I joked around and said, but
right.
it could be either side of
We
the
don't
fence.
know.
We just don't know.
Nope.
But I think what's going to happen is, especially if there is something that happened there in that alley before that Uber driver,
right,
or whatever he was, was there some hanky-panky going on that they're trying to cover up because of, he's married to his wife and the wife just had kids or whatever?
Yeah, we don't know, but it's going to come out.
And just to let you know, for those that are watching, I'm just trying to figure this out here. And if somebody wants to figure this out with me, go right ahead and chime in and chat. Now, Sanchez was hospitalized with stab wounds to his upper right torso. The initial affidavit signed by a police detective said the truck driver, identified as P.T. Barnum, because this is what this has turned to. It's turned into a fucking circus.
It really has, yeah.
And by the way, I do have Jacksonville tonight.
Okay.
Duval. Now, authorities have not said whether the truck driver might also face charges, but Mears noted that Indiana has some of the most robust self-defense laws in the nation.
Interesting.
Florida has it too.
Yeah.
That one case where the kid got shot and led their race rides and shit like that. Whatever that guy, and I'm not asking you to type in that name here because we're not, Indiana is another red state. Florida's a red state. They believe in, toting guns and shit like that. But so authorities have not said whether the truck driver might also face charges. But I said that. Okay. So the truck driver has filed a lawsuit against Sanchez and Fox Corporation for compensatory and punitive damages, court costs, and any other relief to be determined in a jury trial.
Really?
Mm-hmm. A little fast, if you ask me.
Very fast. That's why they smell so much.
That's why even like with some of the stuff here, was he the guy that, was he a guy that he met with Mark Sanchez on Grindr or something? I'm throwing every possible thing out there because, Mark Sanchez is a pretty boy. He is a pretty boy.
Mark, you said you was going to call me back. You didn't call me. I'm going to stab you.
Hey, Mark. Yes, it's up to 9 inches now. I've never been 9 inches in my life.
Yeah.
8.5 maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
this doesn't smell right. It doesn't smell right at all.
so the man said in the suit they sustained severe permanent disfigurement, loss of function, other physical injuries, emotional distress, and other damages due to Sanchez's alleged actions. He said Fox should have known about Sanchez's unfitness as an employee, propensity for drinking, and/or harmful conduct, and he says it failed to supervise him in a capacity as an employee.
Hmm.
Now, let me tell you something, because we're going to talk about redacted for a minute, okay?
Okay.
And I have had discussions with people. And I said, with like the streaming here,
Mhm.
I have strict rules here. If we're even going to steer somewhat close to this, it's redacted. We don't, because the thing is, the guy who told that girlfriend of the Green Bay Packer fan that you're missed next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, that guy ended up getting fired because of the fact that everybody turned into keyboard detective and found him.
Yep.
They found him on one site, then they found him on another one. They found him on LinkedIn. That cited who we worked for. And oh, by the way, bye-bye.
Yep.
So you can find this shit out. It's just how much harder can I make it? Because truthfully, I can say I work at Redacted. Somebody in probably 10 minutes will say, oh, he works at blank. Fill in the name if they really wanted to. And I'm not gonna deny, you can probably find anything about anybody. Plain simple.
I thought Blank closed up shop a few years ago. You stopped working for Blank. Then you went to Blip. Then you went to Blog. Then you went to Boot.
No.
You had 3 of those 4 jobs. I remember you telling me that.
I've been at blank, aka Redacted, for 26 years. I have the 75 for the full benefits.
I know this.
Yeah, I'm 52.
You told me you were 21.
No,
Hey.
you've seen my eye. Wait. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. These motherfuckers at Delaware Park,
Yeah.
they pinned me perfectly. Silver plus. Not only were they age shaming me when we were down there a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
they're also calling me a fat fucker.
Welcome to my world. I got the same one.
And here, one person I was telling the joke to said, oh, by the way, you have between 50 and 550 credits. I'm like, well, I knew where I fit in there, but not the numbers. But, let me have my joke because I'm old and fat.
Right. Right.
I should have been careful there. I could have broken my.
Yeah.
Well, I have a double setup, so.
Okay.
But yeah, but when none of this adds up to me.
It doesn't.
But could it add up against Sanchez? Yeah, sure. Could it add up against the other guy? Yeah, sure. Could it be that there was no food delivery order and he was getting a Hummer in the alleyway? Yeah, that could be the case too.
Yep.
Mark, you're biting me too hard. Mark, you're biting me too hard. Mark, motherfucker.
Yeah, this. It doesn't smell right. Like I said, it's too fast. It's not right.
Or you with my bitch. That's your bitch?
Right?
Is her name Bubba?
Right? Yeah, we are. Yeah,
But I mean, we shouldn't make fun of this situation, but you know, it doesn't make sense
that's the thing.
on either side.
Right.
Because the one thing is, if Mark Sanchez wanted to after the fact, whether he gets fired or not, because he's probably going to get fired from Fox.
Yeah, I think I read they already found a new replacement.
Well, they had Brady Quinn in because he was unable to perform the duties.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So Brady Quinn took a stab at the color commentary. You know, but the fact that that the guy, which is probably just a lawyer talking for him,
Yeah.
unfitness as an employee, propensity for drinking or harmful conduct, and failed to supervise him in his capacity as an employee, that is slander and libel.
It is.
But also, I could be a raging alcoholic from 7:31 when I'm done work till the time I go to bed.
Right.
And, let's say I get caught pissing in a corner of the grade school up the street because, it's 2:00 in the morning, nothing's open. I'm not making it home in time. Let me go piss on the wall and, does that make me, does that make the company a failure to supervise me in the capacity as an employee? No.
No.
See, but the difference is between an athlete and an average person like me and you is, besides the fact that Mark Sanchez is a pretty boy, and with me now, if I have redacted clothes on,
Yeah.
redacted jacket, redacted shirt, whatever, and I'm pissing on the wall up the street at Ronhurst School, which I've never done, but let's say, oh shit, I can't make it. Well, personally, I just think I would just be like, nonchalantly pissing and walking at the same time. But so what if it gets all over me? But especially this time of year because I'm still wearing shorts.
Gotcha.
But but the thing is with Mark Sanchez, I talk about with Trevor Bauer, I talk about with all these athletes. You don't have to wear your team's uniform to be an employee.
Nope.
Because with the way sports are in America and around the world, oh, by the way, you're violating our whatever, because guess what? You represent Fox Sports here.
Yeah.
But, but if I'm like in this right now, I'm actually representing Gulfstream Park here.
That's true.
But, you got to, oh,
wow. And that's the tip you have, right?
And just want to show Mike this real quick because I know he doesn't believe me. Now, granted, it's only $10.
But still, wow.
By the way, I found another I found another site that we use, another app, which is more stock, but it's sports related with the stock. It's called Kalshi. I sat here 17-3. I'm watching somebody stream because they stream all the NFL games, side streaming. I'm sitting here and I'm like 17-3. I did not feel comfortable about the Eagles game. Now, what I did was I bought a stock, quote unquote,
Right.
on the Eagles not winning by 10.5 points.
Wow.
And it was, and now that I understand Kalshi a little bit, it's like, I'm not putting like a full $10 down. I'm going to put like 2 down.
Right.
Like, it's kind of like death by a billion paper cuts, kind of like, build little by little.
Okay. So
I put $4 down, which ended up being, I have to update the app here, damn it. What they do is they round down to whatever the stock would be. So they so they ended up so I ended up paying $3.47 for this stock.
Right.
Stock.
Right.
That Philadelphia wins by over 10.5 points. I said no.
Okay.
And it cost me $3.47. I got $6 back.
Okay. Okay.
So my stock portfolio, so to speak, is $28.97. And I know we should be talking about Mark Sanchez, but we'll finish this up here. So the prosecutors. So as of right now, I think Sanchez could turn this into a thing if he really wanted to, like, because he's going to lose his job.
Yeah.
We know he's going to lose his job.
Right.
So Sanchez had been scheduled for a hearing Tuesday on the original misdemeanor charges, but that was rescheduled for November 4th. He remains hospitalized and is listed in stable condition. Now, Mark's brother Nick said, "It's been deeply distressing time for everyone involved. Mark and our family are incredibly grateful for the concern, love, and support we received over the past few days. Mark remains under medical care for the serious injuries he sustained and is focused on the recovery as the legal process continues. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the first responders and medical staff." Now, I'll say this. As Kansas City, it's probably coming back.
Yeah.
He's focusing on his brother. I'm sure. Oh, that's insensitive because there's nothing mentioned about the other guy. Well, the other guy stabbed him.
Yeah.
Whether it was in self-defense or not. So, prosecutors said police are still gathering information and have several outstanding search warrants. The surveillance video captured the incident from multiple angles. So, we're going to see a couple different things. I wouldn't be surprised as well. So, the police chief said, "I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care where you live. If you come to our city, commit violence, we will use all the tools at our disposal to hold you accountable." Okay, well, hold the other guy accountable too.
That's true.
But be interesting to see because you could easily, you could probably get some super lawyer to get him off.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Now, Mark Sanchez was in Indianapolis to broadcast the Raiders and Colts game. Chris Myers acknowledged Sanchez's absence on Sunday before introducing his replacement, Brady Quinn. Myers said he wanted to send his thoughts and prayers to Sanchez and everyone involved in the incident.
Okay.
So, it's a tough situation because when you try to address it, it's like, well, we're acknowledging Sanchez isn't going to be there, obviously. but you got to acknowledge everything that occurred in a certain way without turning it into any sort of a legal thing, you know.
That's true.
Um, but you know, there's so many questions I have on this and everything, and, but um, but you know, but just to let you guys know, with Kalshi, since we were talking about that briefly, and you know, I'm still promoting. I'm trying to get my arm back in here, way over there underneath. Yeah, where Mike's picture. Or fuck it, you know, we're moving over to my side. Fuck you, right there. Or back with Mike. So, but the one thing, but the one thing is, if there's an ad on the Bleacher Brothers site, there's a reason for it. So, you know, all the there's even a promotions page with everything that we have, with whether it's FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, all that shit. And now Kalshi's one of the newest ones. And I mentioned that earlier tonight. Like, for example, you don't even have to put stock in sports. Like, for example, one of the things that I did, Hurricane Imelda. Remember when we had the two hurricanes in the Atlantic, and they were talking about that one effect where the two hurricanes become the super hurricane?
Mm-hmm.
I put money down that Hurricane Imelda would become a Category 2 hurricane.
Wow.
So I put $2 down. It got rounded down to $1.87. I got $4 back.
Okay.
Would there be a government shutdown on October 1st? I said no. Cost me 76 cents. I lost. Oregon and Penn State. That cost me $1.56. You know, you put in like $2 and it'll just put it down to makes the stock, because you know the one thing is with stock, you can't own like a portion of a stock.
Yeah.
So $1.56. I cashed it out because Penn State's gonna fucking win this game. DC United. When the Union played DC United, $1.62 was the cost of my stock. That was the game the Union won 6-0.
Yeah.
That was
beat that.
But you know, I mean, you can bet what the highest temperature is going to be in Philadelphia tomorrow. For example, baseball, what the announcers are going to say during the football game, and they give you a list of things that they could say. You know, all kinds of stuff. There's all politics, sports, culture, crypto, climate, economics, mentions, companies. Like, for example, one of the wagers I have right now, and I probably could cash out this hurricane one. Cost me $1.83. I get 48 cents back. Here's one thing I did. And this is just because it has nothing to do with polls or anything like that. You know how you just feel like, you know, America's going sideways and all that and everything else?
Yeah.
I put $2 down that the Republicans are going to win the governor's race in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Only because it just seems like, because it's a close race all of a sudden,
Right.
it just seems like all the Republicans are going to say, yeah, we're voting for her. And then all of a sudden you see that he's like 10 points ahead.
Right. Right.
But you know how, I mean, like, for example, there was this one thing that I saw the other day, and I'm not sure if you saw it or not. I'm going to share this. And once again, this is not to bash and go after certain things, but if you want to say I am, go right ahead. I don't care, you know. Hopefully I can start this once this comes up. Come on. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. And this was Donald Trump. When this was, I'm not sure, but here's from whenever.
And I went to Puerto Rico and I met with the president of the Virgin Islands. These are people, and I went to Puerto Rico and I met with the president of the Virgin Islands. These are people, and I went to Puerto Rico and I met with the president of the Virgin Islands. These are people.
Oh.
Now, here's the thing. And the one thing that, if not Trump, one of his cronies were saying within the last couple of years, let's make America take a civics test. You know, take the test that you take for U.S. citizenship.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, on both sides of the political spectrum, but I think more on the right side, even though the left side is just because a lot of people are learning disabled. The right side just doesn't fact check and yes, we believe you. So he met with himself.
I can see that.
Because, you know,
I can see that.
the president of Puerto Rico, which he probably means the governor.
Yeah.
If that happened, but he's lying, probably. The president of Puerto Rico and the president of the Virgin Islands. Now, was he talking about the British Virgin Islands or the American? Probably American, but they're both. He's the president of both because it's a U.S. territory.
Yep.
The only time they are separate from the United States is major sporting events like the Pan Am Games, or not. Is it Pan Am Games? Well, I don't think they hold them anymore anyway, but the Olympics, for example.
Right.
The U.S. Virgin Islands is its own entity because it's a territory.
Right.
Puerto Rico is its own territory. That's why I said, like, when you had the World Baseball Classic, if we annex Puerto Rico, the United States will win every year.
Yeah.
You know, fuck the Japanese. Everything's solved now. We're no longer turning Japanese. Everything's solved now. But yeah, so that was something that I saw that, and if you follow me on Instagram at Joe Quills, I do share some stupid shit on there from time to time. Like, for example, here's one thing that we found out. And, oh, by the way, how about that Penn State game on Saturday? Matter of fact, we had a impromptu video conference call mid-afternoon. Now, I told you what it was. I'm not going to say what the reason behind it was. So they're talking about Phillies, Eagles, Penn State. I'm like, I'm glad Penn State lost. And everybody was like, what's wrong with him? But if they knew the reason why I'm so anti-Penn State, maybe you can understand a little bit more because, with my high school upbringing and all that, and crossing paths with pedophiles and shit like that. And, I might as well just tell the whole story, Never, have always been exit only. Never got tush pushed. Never got the sausage. But I've crossed paths with priests and others who have been accused. I'm going to say accused because you find out that something happened, and and even if they did mention it, like for example, one was a priest in college, even whose class I always signed up for because he looked like who did he look like? Well, whoever he looked like a comedian. So
Richard Lewis?
No.
Dana Carpenter?
No. I gotta look it up because
Joe Pesci?
No, stop. And he recently, he died a couple of years ago, I believe. No, wait. No, he's dead. The comedian, that is.
Okay.
I shit you not when I say this. You look like Fred Willard.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
And he had the soft voice that would put you right the fuck to sleep.
Oh, dang.
So there was that one. There was 2 priests at the prep, but those allegations were at another school.
Okay. And
then there was a teacher at the prep that made a move on one of the students.
Ouch.
Not sausage, but
right.
Still. But we throwing up there?
No.
Okay. So that's the reason why I had such a disdain for Penn State, because they gave Jerry Sandusky that opportunity and all that, and we all know what happened with Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah.
And also Joe Paterno, everybody's hero, another guy who I hope is burning in hell. I hope he's getting the Adolf Hitler treatment in Little Nicky. You get the little pineapple. It's like no. The big pineapple.
Yeah.
But come on, Trevor.
He threw an interception? I guess he did.
All right, and it looked like the guy got knocked down. But I said one thing yesterday. The Eagles, and we can probably talk about Eagles here as well if we want to. The one thing that annoys me more than anything else, and I said this on X yesterday, and if you follow me at Joe Quills on there, you know exactly. I said yesterday, let me find it. Hey, NFL, how about instead of going after the unsportsmanlike conduct, how about going after teams that have to run 40 yards down the field to celebrate with fans? It was cute during the pandemic, but it's old as fuck now.
Yeah,
and my Eagles just did this celebration. I'm complaining. And on top of that, that was a celebration that was reviewed and reversed because apparently going like this means that you have control of the ball when Cooper DeJean did knock the ball loose.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you do have, but there was bad officiating everywhere, and there was this one thing here. Did you see what happened to Justin Fields yesterday?
No. And
apparently this happened in the UK as well. happened in London for a different thing, but I don't have video of it. Apparently, Justin Fields hit the sky cam with a throw.
Oh, dang.
Wait. I'm going to show it to you. Don't worry.
Okay.
So this was from Sunday. This is from Barstool Sports on X. He goes to throw.
Right.
It gets deflected off this helmet, and doink!
Okay. Wow.
But that wasn't the injury. That wasn't the weirdest play. Now, not only was there let me see if I can find the video here. All right, well, we'll play this whole video, and if the NFL gets me into trouble, then so be it. I don't fucking care. Kyler Murray was in concussion protocol yesterday, but then again, after some of the shit that happened after he left, I guess, plays a big part here. But here's what happened in Arizona earlier in the before the play where where Arizona kicked the ball, a fumble from an interception into a Tennessee touchdown.
Yeah.
But here's what happened. Make sure it's unmuted. Here we go.
Boy, looks like
man,
Oh, God damn
is
it.
he going to the
Hold on.
locker room? He is indeed.
There's no sound. Hold on. Oh, it was muted. Damn it. Now we can play with it with the sound.
Okay.
So let me give me one of those first.
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
Here we go.
Boy, looks
Oh,
like
man. Kyler Murray, is he
Cardinals
going to the locker room? He is indeed. We're trying to figure out exactly what may have happened. Jacoby Brissett is the backup quarterback for Arizona.
So here's the play. Clearly didn't know the ball was coming.
Apparently that put him in
And then he
concussion
just-
protocol.
Wow.
It falls to the ground. There's no contact. He gets up and
Boy, looks like
Oh, man. Kyler Murray,
Murray,
is he going to the locker room? He is indeed. We're trying to figure out exactly what may have happened. Jacoby Brissett is the backup quarterback for Arizona.
so here's the play. Clearly didn't know the ball was coming. And then he just falls to the ground. There's no contact.
He missed the tackle, or maybe it was
To the ground. There's no contact.
that.
He gets up and
I don't know. We're
Speculating.
but there was all kinds of goofy stuff. I'm not going to show that play because we're showing enough. I mean, we've reached our Arizona Cardinal quotient for the next 5 years.
Yeah, at least.
But that's the stupid stuff here. But the one thing I mentioned at the start of this, before we started the show, with Penn State's loss, and by the way, James Franklin should get a lifetime contract after that loss, in my opinion.
Oh,
Anytime you lose to a team that is 0-4
yeah.
and is garbage as they are,
Right.
they fired their head coach and everything.
Yeah, they did.
You deserve a lifetime deal at Penn State, in my opinion.
Oh,
But with that loss,
he said sarcastically. Yeah.
and Temple's win over Texas San Antonio, aka UTSA.
Yeah.
By the way, if you were watching the show on Thursday night, I told you to take Temple 6.5 because it was Yom Kippur this week.
Oh, wow.
That was a Chris Berman move there.
Hey, good.
So could I have just told you to take the money line? Yeah, sure. But, because like I said before, with a 1.5 point line, you start to look and you say, well, it's minus 110, but this is minus 105, and, go for the money line as opposed to that. But All three FBS teams in Pennsylvania have a 3-2 record right now: Pitt, Penn State, and Temple.
Jeez.
And for what it's worth, at WIW, FCS school Villanova is also 3-2.
Pennsylvania schools.
So, oh, and I do have to show you this before we get to our final story here. So this was this is last week. And Cam Neely is apparently working as the Bruins president, Boston Bruins.
Okay.
He had a meeting with new hockey ops advisors, Zdeno Chara, the guy who was like 8 feet tall on the ice. I'm going to play this here because I want you to see how cool this video was. And it's an Instagram video. I don't even think I can blow it up, so you'll just have to deal with it.
Okay.
You meeting people watching.
Gotcha.
I want to bring you outside here because he wants to try and get a picture of you with him underneath the 11 banner.
Oh, okay. That's going to be a cool picture.
Actually, Z, I'm full of crap. The reason we're here, you see between 24 and 77, retired number banners.
Oh,
That's where 33 is going to go this year.
oh my God. Oh my God, Cam. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much.
Of course.
Wow, what an honor. You got me. That's first of all. I don't know what to say.
This is a letter from Mr. Jacobs. You can read at some point. But
Yeah, definitely I will. And I'm shocked. I'm surprised. Obviously.
Well, that's what I was
very
hoping
grateful.
for.
Yeah, of course.
But that's why I brought you down. There's
No,
meaning.
I was wondering, like, am I in trouble? A week in a job? Wow, but I don't know what to say. You
Yeah,
got me
that's
like
good.
really good.
Yeah,
So.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, so I tend to share that cool stuff along with the goofy shit that I show from time to time on my page. So, yeah. So Kansas City did score there after that interception. I don't know what exactly happened, but it is 21-21 right now. And why do I sense another bad beat? I mean, this is what I did on Saturday night before I went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have my little routine, and we'll get to the final story here in a second. I sit here, and I go from BetMGM,
Right.
because when midnight comes around, they have a little game here where you can get bonus things, get bonus spins of whatever. So I do that. So I don't know if that what I was telling you about building my money up on BetMGM was. I mean, it wasn't like that one time you came here. It's like, hey, I did this free game, and next thing you know, I had $800 in my account.
Right.
It wasn't that,
Okay.
but I was up to like $90 for those. So I had $20-some in the account. So, no flag?
Nope.
All right. So, we're also watching a football game for those who are watching. So, I had, or was it on? No, it was on FanDuel.
Okay, well, no BetMGM.
So, I got that up to $20.
Right.
Okay, well, I got these 2 boosts that I have to take by the end of the night, or by today, but I took them yesterday. I took Cleveland money line, bad beat, 20 seconds left.
Right.
And then I played the Giants, and New Orleans decided to show up.
Yeah, they did.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
But then I started playing with BetMGM. I was like, okay. But I think I finally tapped out of the Walking Dead game because I got that up to like $95.
Okay.
And then I was like, you know what? Let me put this football wager in because on BetMGM, and I'm promoting FanDuel and I'm talking BetMGM.
Right.
So, wow. So I'm playing and I'm just like, let me put this football wager in because, I don't have any promos or anything like that, but there's a promo where if you bet $10 or more, that's why I bet $10 on the game, even though that's my base wager now, or has been for at least the last few months. If I do $10, I'll get a football pick, and you get whatever prize. And it was like, oh, get $2 casino credit on this particular. Yeah, fuck it. So. So that's that, and also the Walking Dead game, which I was hitting on little by little, building up. It was starting to dry up on me. I was like, you know what? All right, I'm done. Let's see what I can do with this game. So let's hope Jacksonville coach. Let's hope. I hope this is the one that I'm saying here. Let's hope Jacksonville doesn't end up like this at the end of the game.
Jacksonville, the community, Duval.
Let's hope we don't have an ending like that.
Oh, let's hope not.
Because you know what? I deserve a fucking break.
Right.
But, and who knows? Maybe I'll just take the $86 out and be like, I won. Fuck yous. But, whatever. But, and then, did you see Torpedo Anna yesterday put in a major thud yesterday?
No.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
5-horse field.
Yeah.
Just got passed by Nitrogen on the turn and just packed it in.
Wow.
And Nitrogen has a slight problem. Nitrogen the horse, not Nitrogen the gas.
Right.
For those that are wondering. And, you can pull it up on Twin Spires. You can pull it up. FanDuel. I'm talking FanDuel. I'm mentioning Twin Spires. Twin Spires, FanDuel, whatever. YouTube. The horse, if she doesn't have a target, but the horse that was on the lead was a few lanes toward the left on the rail. Okay. She was like in the 4 or 5 path in the stretch home.
Right.
She's wandering around.
Really?
See, if she has something that she can target at the finish, she'll run straight.
Okay.
But like Marcassi says, she tends to float around and wander around if she has nothing to target. But also the jockey was whipping her with the left-hand whip, and she's moving to the right. Now you whip her to the right, with the right hand.
Right.
But I think now some horses just show you signs that they don't want to run anymore, and this may be the case with Torpedo Anna, but some people said, oh, she doesn't want to run anymore. But she had, but she was in perfect position. the pace was a little bit faster than probably what she would have wanted, but you know,
Okay.
there was no excuse.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't like the race in May where she got bumped around all over the place on the first by approaching the first turn, and it's like, yeah, you know, she's done. Whereas this race, there was no excuse. But you know, sometimes it's one of those races where you just don't whatever. But Kenny McPeak, the trainer, he said, you know, we might have seen her last race, you know, but you know, but then again, you're talking about hours to 24 hours after the race, so it isn't like, you know, it's like you had your hopes up here and then got deflated. So, you know, but they do have 4 weeks until the Breeders' Cup if they want to go. But yeah, so obviously you're not going to the Breeders' Cup Classic because you get destroyed.
Yep.
But then again, with this year's field, I wouldn't, you know. Jesus Christ, look at that room. But, you know, but Nitrogen finished second to Jin Jin. Now, has won 2 races this year. And I said in the article on yesterday, if that horse is loose on the lead,
right,
which it kind of was, but Torpedo Anna was at the horse's hip, did almost the same thing in April at Keeneland and won at 38-1. Here was 18-1. But Nitrogen did run well, and yeah, I said that there was a scenario when I was talking to Mike Abadir. I said there's a scenario in play where I could see Nitrogen winning Horse of the Year. Not now, only because not because of losing to Jinjin, but more because Torpedo Anna laid such a dud that you won't get that second race in the Breeders' Cup Distaff possibly. And if there is a rematch, it doesn't hold the same cachet or whatever.
Right.
But anyway, so last story here. Mike McDaniel says that the Dolphins owner Steve Ross is really frustrated. Okay, Jerry Jones Jr. So Stephen Ross, not Bob Ross, but then again, I think he could paint a better picture of how horrible the Dolphins are.
Oh, definitely.
So Stephen Ross was frustrated after the team's loss. Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel said he met with Ross afterwards, as he does after every game. I don't know if Jeffrey Lurie does that.
I don't think he does.
I think in some regards you have to give space to your players and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
So he met with Ross afterwards, and both men voiced their frustration with each other. And I'm sure Mike McDaniel was telling him the Pythagorean theorem and all that because, you know, he's from Harvard or Yale or whatever Ivy League school. So you get the idea.
Right.
McDaniel said he was really frustrated just like I was. We talked about the challenge ahead and getting ready for the Chargers, and that was really the extent of it. But, you know, we all know McDaniel's on the hot seat. I mean, yeah, it's McDaniel for the name, not McDaniels. But me saying McDaniels there is McDaniel as in McDaniel is there. But, you know, but also he lost Tyreek Hill for the year as well, which is scary because he'll probably have 15 new baby mamas by Christmas. So, but what could be even more frustrating was the Dolphins had led 17-0 early in the second quarter before allowing Carolina to close the game with a 27-7 run.
They sure did.
Now you were talking about the Denver stat from yesterday.
Yeah.
Since McDaniel was hired in 2022, the Dolphins have been 10-0 in games where they led by 3 scores at any point.
Wow. Now they're 10-1.
Well, the worst thing that happened to Miami was when they had that 70-point game against Denver.
Oh yeah.
Because ever since that, it's been downhill.
Yeah.
Now, McDaniel said he's not worrying about his job security. He insisted that worrying about the job security would take his focus away from doing his actual job, which is what? Smoking pot. Because he looks like for the last year or two that he's been on this 9-month, this 2-year bender.
It's just a look on his face. It is. Yeah.
So he said he's tired of talking about improving, but recognizes that the conversations will continue until the on-field results change. It's frustrating because there's a lot of talking. We need to be better. We need to major in doing. We need to major in doing. I don't think anybody wants to hear me talk about it as much as I don't feel like saying it. It just doesn't change. Blah, 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 blah. But but the thing is, the worst thing he did was you scored 70 points on Denver, but Denver was a shit show on defense. And
they were.
Was that the Russell Wilson year? I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was. Yeah.
So ever since that game, it's been.
Yeah.
But you do have, and by the way, here's another 2-minute game that's going to bite me in the ass at the end. You know what? Let me see something here. Can I? $10 cash out 709. No, I'll ride it out. Fuck it. Because that's one thing with betting online. You can cash out early.
Okay.
Like for example, let's say you have a 16 parlay and you're 5 for 5.
Right.
And you're just like, well, whoops. 6 for 6 will get me $1,500, but if I cash out now, I'll get $850.
There you go.
But then again, you sit there at the end of the night thinking, I should have stuck through it. But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of what coach is going to get fired first here. McDaniel is on the hot seat. Gable has to be on the hot seat, even though the team's horrible.
Yeah.
Who else is on the hot seat right now?
Who's Tennessee's head coach?
Yeah, he might be on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Callahan, I think.
Yeah.
Cleveland's head coach.
Yeah.
Are we putting John Harbaugh on the hot seat?
No, because I think that what you said about him a few weeks ago, I still think that's gonna come to fruition. I think they're still gonna have a good year this year because of his track record. However, one person that I think is going to be on the hot seat before the season's over is Pete Carroll.
I don't think so. Because first of all, I predicted the Raiders were going to be like 0-4, 1-4, something like that this time of the year.
Okay.
But I saw that they were going to make a second half move here.
Okay.
But yeah, things don't look good right now.
No.
But then again, we didn't predict Indianapolis would be 4-1. I had them.
Heck no.
I had them 4-13.
Right.
But but I just wonder.
Oh, nice catch.
Yeah, maybe our buddy in Arizona might be on the hot seat after last week or after yesterday.
Who, Steichen?
Yeah,
Maybe.
Steichen or the Steichen's the offensive guy, right?
Well, who's that coach?
You're gonna make me look. Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, you did say our buddy, our other buddy. Yeah.
Shane Steichen is in Indy.
That's right. Gannon. He could be on the hot seat, yeah.
But I think we got some coaches on the hot seat already. I can see Tennessee's coach on the hot seat, Stefanski in Cleveland.
Okay.
I would put John Harbaugh on there too because, even though they've had a ton of injuries, if you think about it, they haven't been competitive the last couple of weeks. Now,
That's
granted,
true.
there's injuries, but it doesn't look good.
That's true.
Everybody's saying Cincinnati. I think maybe, if Cincinnati's coach gets fired, let me just remind you that they allowed a coach to be at Cincinnati who went 0-7 in the playoffs.
Yes, they did.
This guy should have a lifetime contract for getting them to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
After that.
Exactly.
Jets are 0-5, but you know what? They need so much to be fixed in New York. You got to give him another year
At least another year. He's got to build the culture of the team there. So yeah, give him another year. Now, what about shoot. Team just went out my daggone head. Just that quick. They'll come back to me.
And I think Jacksonville let them score.
I think so, yeah.
AFC. Because we talked Miami.
We did talk Miami.
Jets were given a pass.
I'm on Burholm Avenue next to the boulevard. That's where my mind is. So that's where it went. It's not coming back.
The hub or the one across the street?
The hub. That's funny.
Cincinnati, Baltimore, Cleveland.
Nope.
Houston.
No, what did you say?
We talked about Tennessee. Raiders we talked about.
Oh, there it is. Oh, came back. Wow. He must have got some gas. Frisco.
They're 4-1.
Yeah, but I think that 4-1 is mirrors. I think it's
yeah. I can see that, but if they're not making the playoffs last year, we'll let you slide.
You got call it? Okay. All right. You got call slide. Okay. All right.
But then again, he doesn't win the big game.
No.
Maybe if he loses 2 more Super Bowls in overtime.
I know one coach who can buy beers in Philadelphia for the rest of his life, and he won't get fired no time soon.
Sirianni?
Ding, 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 ding.
They still give him a bunch of shit even after the Super Bowl. They still give him shit.
Yeah, but he won.
Yeah.
Big Red didn't win. Ray Road, Rich Coat type. Chip Kelly. Yeah.
But even Chip Kelly, no, he didn't win a football game. No, he didn't win a playoff game.
No, he didn't.
But all right, so I guess that's it here. Mike, thank you for coming up here.
But of course,
we're gonna watch the end of the game here. 1:45 left, and Jacksonville's defense hasn't stopped anything tonight. Well, they did have that one interception, but that's about it. Kansas City has almost 500 yards of offense. They're starting to flip the switch too, just like the Dodgers have. But I'll be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, and we'll see what happens there. Hopefully, it's with a few more bucks in my pocket here. And thankfully, because he has 2 timeouts, he can do something like that. But we're going to watch the end of the game here by ourselves here. So I do want to thank everybody for joining me tonight on Twitch, on X, on Facebook, all the usual places. And I'll be live tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Mike will be at home watching.
Quick promo.
What? Oh, also eligible? I don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
But anyways, Saturday, I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Actually, I think right now, barring anything unforeseen, let me pull up the stake schedule. And by the way, I have not hit a race yet this month.
Yeah, you do.
I lost by a fucking head again today. To a horse named Dahmer.
Oh, no. Oh, Dad.
Made me feel like Jeffy Dahmer. I wrote all the races down for like all the tracks possibility through the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we are going to look at Laurel Park. And some people that are horse racing aficionados will say, why? Well, there's only one stakes race at Keeneland, even though it's probably a damn good one, the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup. There's 2 races at Aqueduct. But, oh, what a catch.
You might get lucky after all, huh?
But Saturday is their annual Maryland Millions Day, where horses that are bred in Maryland or sire, they have their own set of rules with this, but they have what's called starter allowance, or even state bred races here. We'll take a look at some of those on Saturday as of right now, but we'll see what happens. So, and that's going to be a Saturday where I have to be out of here by 11:15, so I could be working at 11:30. So that's it for now. And I almost want to stay on, but I don't want to. Because I feel like, because Jacksonville's driving.
Right.
I get the feeling I cut this.
Uh-huh. Oh, I got you.
Interception.
Right, I got you.
And by the way, I haven't decided how I'm going to do Thursday show.
Yeah, because we got 2 games on that day.
Mm-hmm. So, is it just going to be a regular sidecast or whatever? But I did see John Clark reported today. This is one thing I wanted to share, but I didn't, because John Clark reported today Saquon Barkley has a knee injury.
Oh?
But wait till you hear what John Clark said here. He's listed as not being able to practice today. If the Eagles did practice, and Landon Dickerson's not ready to practice just yet either. Grant Calcaterra would not be at today's practice either. But, I think it's just going through the motions and shit like that. But that's what John Clark was saying. And then source confirmed he has soreness in his knee after yesterday's loss, but he expects to play Thursday night against his former team at MetLife. So, whatever. So, and here's the tough part. Do I cut this Actually, that delay game penalty actually helps
Yeah, it does.
Jacksonville because you get a little more room to work with because you are passing. But you only get to where you were originally. Come on, you sissy Lala. And Jacksonville calls their last timeout. And those two kids are crying like Jacksonville football means anything. But Daddy, I don't want them to move to London. Well, they're going to be moving to London, kid. London, Kentucky. The guy still has a piece of the turf in his helmet.
We know it's 4-down territory, right?
Yeah. Pass interference.
You called it? Whoa! You called it!
As soon as I saw the flag, watch this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah. That's a good call, Q.
Now, with Trevor Lawrence being 6'6",
Tush push? What? You know. You know what?
But you know what? You have to review that.
They might call it a sack. Oh, deep. Oh, no review.
You have to review that. Now, this is just me thinking.
Okay.
Make sure he tripped over his own guy's leg.
Right. Oh, he wasn't tackled.
No.
You're suspicious. You were correct. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
So basically, what you got to do is you got to make sure he's not touched, and make sure when he fell it was because of his own guy, which was the case.
Yep. Wow. You know what? Y'all can turn around again.
Let me see something here.
You called that one. Someone's looking after you. Somebody's looking after you.
Who the hell is? I don't know.
All right, so Kansas City has 3 timeouts with only 22 seconds left.
Yeah, I was looking to see Jacksonville's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping it'd be Jacksonville and Indy week 18.
Right.
They play week 17. There's a hold.
Oh.
And I'm not I mean, I saw the one.
Right?
I saw the one where the guy was holding him like this by the near sideline. That could have been what they're calling. It could have been something that was off camera. They were whole. I mean, we don't have the volume up, so we're not. So you don't hear it too much, but.
Right there.
Okay, that was the one. That wasn't the one I was looking at.
Okay.
Because there was one closer to the sideline.
So they need for make sure that Kansas City doesn't get to the 40-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't have a lot of time left either, even with 3 timeouts.
He was moving forward when he was. Because one thing is, when you go in motion like that, you're supposed to be going side to side. He was moving forward on that.
He was. He wasn't going to. Yeah, he was just going to knock it down.
Yeah, because you can bobble that and go right into somebody's.
Yep.
And we're down to 3rd down here. Whoops. Just doing some. Fuck.
Don't have no time.
We gotta go length of the field here.
In 2 seconds.
Whoops. There was a spammer in.
Okay.
So you got 2 seconds left. And this is, remember when Andy Reid used to be in Philadelphia and they would burn all 3 timeouts like 3 minutes into the game and 3 minutes into the second half? Just shows how much of a dope Donovan McNabb was. Wait, that's back-to-back timeouts. Can't do that.
Oh.
Now, if you're deep in Jacksonville territory, that 5 yards actually helps. Kind of like how we mentioned with Jacksonville with them throwing the ball.
Right.
But since they're still on their side of the field, it doesn't really matter,
Look at you. Cha-ching.
And that was that. Fuck it. Let's play it. All right. So Jacksonville wins 31-28. I end up with $26 in my account. So I'm like up at 86 now. But, maybe I'll dabble in the casino tonight and see if I can get it up to 100. But either way, thanks for joining us tonight. For Mike, I'm Joe, and I'll see you guys in the winner's circle.